Welcome back, everybody, for some Thursday night football here featuring your Houston Texans and the Tennessee Titans. I do have to apologize, I don't exactly have the most time in the world, so I'm just gonna even less prep than usual. I know I'm the least prepped individual on the planet, but I'm now, I don't want to say I'm rushing it. Obviously I got the time to be recording the video, but this one I'm really just like, alright, gotta record a video, gotta get this audio done, bing bang boom, upload the video, because I've hit a nice little streak, and I just want to keep it going, and I'm not going to have a lot of time the next couple days, so, I really got to make sure that I can at least hit today. So, the Texans looking to be 6-0 on the season, which is a really unexpected turn of events. I think everybody, I think most pundits were expecting the Texans to maybe be scraping by for a win here or there, at this point in the season, maybe be 2-4, or, looking to be even, looking to break even, but nope. 5-0, by far the best team in our division, the AFC South. Everybody else is 2-3. We've already beaten the Tennessee Titans once on the season, and if we can take a solid 2-0 season series win over one of our division rivals, then that's just cherry on top for a great start to the season. So we're going to be starting out on defense, Fairbairn with the kickoff. We'll see if Tennessee Titans can get revenge in their own house. They're at home. I believe last time they were the away team. Of course, that always makes a difference. Derrick Henry, last time these two teams faced off, Derrick Henry went off for about 160 yards. Ryan Tannehill, though, he had a pretty decent outing, but he threw a couple of interceptions that really helped turn the tide. He's only thrown for just over 1,000 yards on the season, 76 completions, 9 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. So, you get what you get with Ryan Tannehill. He was never going to be elite. He's a passable starting quarterback, but struggles every now and again, which I guess works okay for Tennessee since they have Derrick Henry at the helm. So we'll see how Houston's looking on defense to start off this game. It's going to go to Henry. Not really a big surprise there, but we do get a good stop. So he's got 555 on the year and 3 touchdowns. He's looking to have another just incredible game against us. But hopefully we learned enough from our first matchup. I believe it was week 2 or week 3. Hopefully we learned enough from that matchup to better contain Derrick Henry, because the better we can contain Derrick Henry, the more we have to make Ryan Tannehill work, and the more we make Ryan Tannehill work, the more likely he is to make a mistake, which is what we need to capitalize on to win this game. Obviously, that's not necessarily true. Heath Matlock could have an incredible game. He could really just, bust it wide open on the offensive side of things. But, of course, even though he's the second overall, he is a rookie quarterback, and we don't want to be leaning on him like that this early in his career. That's not, what we're going for. So, somehow, Stingley Jr., that was a weird one. The receiver came down with the ball, and then, springboarded off of Stingley Jr. as I tried to make a tackle because they were, right on top of each other already. So they've got first down, good position. Derrick Henry crosses over the 50-yard line. He's got 16 yards on 3 rushes today. I need to make my screen a little bit bigger so I can see better. So, yep, entering Houston territory now are the Tennessee Titans. They're looking for a little bit of revenge. They're looking to hit 500 on the season and start to climb up into the potential playoff race. So, Houston Texans, again, nobody expected them to be 5-0 at this point in the season. I don't think anybody expects them to stay undefeated for the rest of the season. But these are the games we really need to win against teams that are at least around the same caliber of team as us, teams that we know we can exploit the weaknesses of, and teams that we've already beaten before. Once you beat them once, you don't want to have to suffer knowing your enemy's weakness and still losing to it anyway, if that makes sense. But still, Tannehill and the Texans and the Titans are making a good drive. He's just going to go to his receiver on the corner there. He'll get a gain of 7. So 3 for 3 is Tannehill. He's got 31. Got a wrapping on my arm. I've got to take off because it's been on for a while. Be careful at the gym, everybody, when you're lifting weights. That was a pass to his receiver, Okonkwo, but that's just for a couple of yards there. Jalen Pitre comes down with the assisted tackle. I'm a big fan of Jalen Pitre. He's a strong safety who really, he knows when to go in and he knows when to lay off and stay back. And he's a threat to either, he's a threat in the backfield and in the secondary for a sack and for an interception. 3rd and 4, Tannehill hits Henry, a nice little wheel route. And Tennessee is still marching down the field. They've killed off quite a bit of this first quarter clock as well. So Henry's first reception on the day goes for 12 yards, and that's Stingley's first tackle. Probably should have been his second, but again, I was usering him before, and we all know how good I am at user defense. Alright, 1st and 10, we really need somebody to step up. We could use Malik Collins to get a sack, or Trey Flowers to get a sack, or Jalen Dean for an interception or something like that. So Tannehill is looking to pass, and he's going to swing it to I believe that's Okonkwo again. Yes, and he is down at the 1. So Tennessee, they're really putting the pressure on us early. I can't remember. I believe it was a bit of a shootout between the two of us the first game around. I believe it was actually one of the closer games of the season. But we get a really nice stop there in the backfield. Walker gets dropped for a loss of 3 yards. So now it's a bit more of a manageable goal line stand, if that makes sense. It's sometimes too easy in Madden to just first and one, or first and goal on the 1, just HB dive it up. Anyway, Derrick Henry is going to prove that I'm speaking a bit too soon. He just marches it right on in from 4 yards away. Tennessee is going to be up 7-0. Not very often I think that Houston has given up the ball first and let the opponent score, at least a touchdown. We've been pretty good about opening drives and maintaining a lead, at least in the first half. The problem is usually giving up that lead. So we'll take a look now, 3rd and 7. We tried a couple runs with Dameon Pierce. That didn't really go anywhere. Matlock rolling out, just dodges a man. Aguilar, he had 3 guys on him, blew past all of them, and Matlock makes his first completion on the day for a solid gain of 27 yards. So, out of the danger zone now, Houston trying to march. I believe they are across into Tennessee territory. That was a nice, just like, little sidearm. Yeah, we're past the 50, down at their 46-yard line. And Aguilar knew when to just take the catch and go down with it. He didn't try and extend too far, keep running, because that's how you get out of bounds without, gaining any yards. So Pierce tries to gut it up the middle, just gets 2 yards. Not his best start to a game, but, you can't judge a man off of just 2 rushes in the first quarter. So what are you going to do? 2nd and 8, we're going to go to him again. He is our guy. He gets a bit more this time. He actually gets through the first tackle, and the second guy brings him down forward a little bit. So 3rd and inches now. This is still a 3rd down that we have to work past, but very, very manageable here. I was thinking long and hard about whether give it back to Pierce or let Matlock try the throw. Because, you got to assume Tennessee's ready for the run, but on 3rd and inches, if you make a bad throw, that's you look kind of silly, especially if it's an interception. But we do go with the pass, and Nico Collins is slanting up the middle. Keith Matlock hits him for his 2nd completion of the day, gaining 9 yards that time. And Nico Collins, he's really been one of my favorite receivers on this team. Obviously, Brandon Cooks, we knew his potential. Nelson Aguilar's obviously been a lot of fun, but Nico Collins, I think I looked at him and I misjudged him at first. But look at that. That was a beautiful little move from Dameon Pierce there. He just I guess that is the definition of juking out a guy, because he could have gotten taken down before. Not before the first down. I think he had the first down for sure, but he got an extra 5 yards because of that little move right there. Maybe even an extra 6 or 7. So, that's exactly what you want to see from your starting running back. He's not just the main ball carrier, he's the main offense carrier for this team. And he's the reason why they are 5-0, most definitely. But he's not going to get anything here, so 25 yards, though, on 5 rushes. So he's brought it back around with his last 3 runs. His averages are getting back to where you want your starting running back's averages to be. Matlock, he's going to roll out. He's got Nico Collins again. No, that is Brandon Cooks. I apologize. And Brandon Cooks, he's going to prove he's the magic man. Just some incredible Madden graphics here. I'm so glad I got this game for like $20 instead of $60. Very much worth $20. $60? But glued to his hand, he kicks it off with an invisible foot, and it just, he's got a fish hook on it or something. But we're going to cut away. Their offense does nothing. Our offense is very close to stalling out on 3rd and 9. We go to my beloved play-action crossover play. Matlock, he's going to look for his guy, and that is just like a blatant pass interference. Like, it was a bad throw to begin with. I don't know if that would actually be pass interference. Maybe just because it is so egregious, but the throw itself wasn't like close enough to the receiver to warrant Aguilar being held up like that. It was atrocious. James Conner has a Moses part of the Red Sea in front of him, and he's got a long gain of 18. Backup running back again. When I first traded for him in the offseason, I said, I'm not exactly sure if this is the right move, because I gave up maybe a bit much for him at the time, but I've been really pleased. He's got a much more, elusive, sleek kind of style to him, as opposed to Dameon Pierce's just like run and truck people over. So Matlock, 1st and 10, gets Cooks for a gain of 15 yards. And Matlock, he's 4 for, I missed that one. It might be 4 for 6, I believe. And Cooks, 27 yards on the day. So it's another 1st and 10 for Houston's offense. And a run with Dameon Pierce gets 4 yards. He's already got 10 rushes on the day, and he's got 45. So again, exactly what you want to see from the main cog in your offense's engine. And Pierce, he's got 12 yards to go, and he's got them all. Houston Texans will take the lead off of a Dameon Pierce touchdown. He has been hot as magma lately. And the photographers in this game don't even know how to hold on to their cameras, let alone, get the guy who just scored the go-ahead touchdown on screen. So another Tennessee drive stalls out, and we'll take over with a handoff to James Conner. 8 minutes to go in the 2nd quarter. That is Conner's 2nd rush on the day. 2nd and 7 to go now for Houston. So Tennessee, it's weird because in this game, Tennessee's offense wasn't particularly bad, or isn't particularly bad, as you'll see. They're just not, they're getting yards, but they're not getting the points to back up those yards, if that makes sense. Our defense is having a hard time stopping them, but they're consistently keeping them off the board. So a very bad throw there by Heath Matlock brings us to 4th and 3. Now he's 4 and 6 on the day. We kick it off, and this is kind of, I think, no, that actually wasn't really emblematic. I've done this so many times where I'm like, oh, I know exactly what's coming up because I just edited this. And then I realize it's a completely different moment. But another throw to Cooks up the middle. He's got a gain of 9. Tries to give some breathing space to the Houston offense. But yeah, I don't want to say a bit of a boring game. It's definitely a game where both sides struggled to get consistent offense. But the offense that they did get was pretty fun to watch. So right now it is 14-7. Matlock, he's going to go for his boy Nico Collins, and Nico Collins has the catch and a few more. Matlock approaching 100 yards on the day. So not particularly the most productive, but again, we've been running with Dameon Pierce a lot. He's the lead of the offense for sure, but Heath Matlock is doing exactly what we want him to do in his position, and that is just make the plays that matter. So 1st and 10 now from our own 37. Matlock back. He tries to bomb it to Aguilar, and Aguilar actually, I thought he had a step on his defender at first, but then the defender actually blew past him, and so that very well could have turned out worse if it hadn't been just a bit overthrown. So I make a weird move there. Damian Pierce only gets 5 yards. He probably would have only gotten 5 yards anyway, but I should have just stuck to cutting off towards the outside. One of our favorite looks, those 3 receivers up high, Aguilar, Cooks, and Collins. And the throw to Aguilar. That drag route, definitely one of my favorite plays in probably every playbook in Madden. Any sort of play that starts off with your receivers up high and they just cross across the field. Just seems like the AI defenders get lost on them, maybe a little bit too easily. But anyway, Matlock makes maybe his worst mistake of the game. I make a missed tackle, which gives them a couple extra yards. But this is just a simple matter of I and the rookie quarterback just made one read. We didn't have enough time to make any other reads, and we made the throw. We didn't try to throw it away, or we didn't eat the sack, and we turned it over because of it. So Tennessee's going to take the ball over again with 1:52 left on the clock. So they've got plenty of time to work, and they're gonna work. So Okonkwo comes up with another catch, and Tannehill 7 for 11, 68 yards. He's also struggling a bit with his production. Tennessee has 140 total on the day, so this is definitely a slower half for them offensively. So a quick throw right up the middle, gets them the first down, and they're at the 45. Another good throw, and again, marching. We're up past the 50. They're in Houston territory. Tennessee Titans fans are starting to get loud. They're hoping their team is a playoff team this year. But Tannehill had nowhere to go. He had not a lot of time, but he made the right decision as opposed to Matlock and just threw it away. I think he was trying to hit his one receiver, and it technically was just very poorly thrown, but I'll count that as a way. So right up to his tight end up the middle, and he gets a gain of about 7 yards, I believe, so it is going to be 3rd down and 3. We haven't seen a whole lot from Derrick Henry in this quarter, mostly because I think Tennessee's just been working from behind. They're only down by a touchdown, so they could be working him in a bit more. And that was just a very weird one. They were going for the screen there, and I missed who it was. I think it was the end. I believe it was Flowers who just got a deflection there because of it. They do end up trying to rush on 4th and 3. Derrick Henry gets a loss of 2, and they turn the ball over. So we've got another chance with 47 seconds left to make something happen. And so Heath Matlock, he's trying to come back out of his turnover last time, and he bombs it for Aguilar. This is another moment where the defender definitely had a step on Aguilar, and Aguilar just kind of had to get his own hand up to knock it away so that it didn't get intercepted. So Matlock trying maybe a bit too hard to make something explosive happen. 2nd and 10 now, the snap. Matlock, he's under some pressure. He tries to throw to Collins, and Collins just doesn't have enough space to get past the defender Farley. So 3rd and 10 now, and Houston, they're really trying to they're really trying to force it. That's what I'm going for. And speaking of forcing it, look at this throw here. And they call that an interception. I can't challenge it because it is under 2 minutes in the half. And, there's no booth review. I thought he was out of bounds with that, but Heath Matlock now, 2 interceptions thrown on the day. Ryan Tannehill, they get some good yards here. I make a bad miss. Bryce Callahan comes down with the tackle. But this is just another moment of the AI being really, really weird here. I think you're going to see in just about a moment, because this is a great opportunity to get at least 3 points on the board and make it a 4-point game. But Tannehill back. He's looking to throw. He throws it short to Henry. Henry, gets crushed. And Tennessee doesn't use their last timeout here for some reason, even though they only have 16 seconds left on the clock. So, I select my play, and we go right down to the end of the half, and they get nothing out of that. So, really just poor AI behavior there, but I'll take what I can get, because obviously I need that help to win. So, bit of a so-so half, but we'll try and keep it up next time, because we start with the ball. 3rd and 4 now for Matlock, and he hit Aguilar there, actually. Aguilar stretched out and made that catch, but Matlock got crushed in the backfield, and they call that roughing the passer. So we get gift-wrapped one, and we'll be on Tennessee's 16-yard line in just under a minute. And I believe this is our first drive as well. Of course it's our first drive because there's 14 minutes. You know what I meant. Somehow Dameon Pierce stays on his feet. He gets wrapped around but stays up. He's down to the 1. He's got 131 on the day in 20 rushes. He's having himself a hell of a day. He's kind of, Derrick Henry and him have had the inverse. Both of them are having strong days, but Pierce is the one who's really, really carrying the offense. And Pierce pushes on through, a 1-yard run, and he's got a touchdown. We're now up 21-7. This is where the game sort of stalls out a little bit. I'm not even going to lie. So as you can see, Tennessee, this is the drive that I was thinking about earlier, where Tennessee had no problem getting the yards. I think there were a couple 3rd downs that they made, but they just stalled out with a couple yards to go and had to settle for 3 points. So 21-10, 8 minutes in the 3rd. Matlock, that's another throw that could have been intercepted, and we're very lucky that it just got knocked away. So 8 for 17 on the day is Heath Matlock. It is 2nd and 10. And we should probably think about starting to kill some clock now and trying to run out the 3rd quarter. I made a weird move on that one. I'm not particularly proud with how I handled Pierce wholly in this game. So he only gets a gain of 1. But he's still having a hell of a day, so we can't particularly complain. You can yell at me, though, if you want, for being bad. So another crossover, but Matlock, he's just going to get dragged down this time. Landry the 3rd has the sack. I believe this is the 2nd time he's sacked Matlock this season. Not a very inspiring drive from the Houston Texans here. They're lucky they're up by 14. Matlock eating dirt. Just the way he likes it. So we'll take back over. The Titans have been driving. You can see they got another field goal. We're already 4 minutes into the 4th quarter. So Tennessee, they're really trying to make anything at all happen here because they're only down by 8 points. A touchdown and a 2-point conversion, and they've tied this game. But they really need something here. So they're going to go, and they're going to hit. I believe that's Okonkwo again. Okonkwo's really had himself a great day. Ryan Tannehill approaching 300 yards passing. But again, just 13 points for Tennessee Titans. Okonkwo, you can see he's got 86 yards. So not necessarily even through any fault of his own, his own, obviously. It's not through any fault of the offense. It's just, I think Houston's defense has been stepping up right when it's needed. But still, we've been letting them get to the goal line way too often. They've got a couple drives in the red zone, and it's only going to be so long before they can actually score on one of those drives. So we really need the defense to step up here. It is 1st and goal. They're on our 7. And the snap, expecting the handoff to Henry, and he gets wrapped up almost immediately. He gets nothing. 122 on the day, and he's got Tennessee's lone touchdown so far. 9.5 left on the clock. 2nd and goal. The snap, and for some reason, they run a run option play. Tannehill keeps it himself, and he gets taken down for a loss of 3 yards. He ran about as fast as my grandmother, and she's dead. They're both of them. Yeah, I don't know exactly what the coach was thinking there, but he might be out of a job next season specifically because of that call. 3rd and goal from the 10. Tennessee Titans trying to give their fans something to root about. And Tannehill looking for anybody. Nobody. He gets wrapped up. That's Jalen Pitre there with the sack. He's got 1.5 on the day and 4 tackles. He's doing jumping jacks, saying, I still need to exercise. You guys ain't giving me enough trouble. So Tennessee, they're going to have to settle for another field goal, and this is going to be 21-16. Houston Texans lead. Got a nice, good view of that. Pitcher came at him from the side, from the blind side, I believe. He just had no chance. We are once again looking at Matlock on 3rd and 7. We've seen a few of these today, but he hits Nico Collins this time. 9 for 21, 143, a touchdown and 2 interceptions. So this is probably Heath Matlock's worst performance of the season. But the fact that Houston is still up and they have possession of the ball with 5.5 to go is, I don't want to say admirable. It's not, you don't want to admire it, but it is impressive that they are managing to hold on to their leads. They let the leads get threatened. They start to worry a little bit. It's clear, that's been clear through the first 5 games, but they've still held on to their leads, and that is why they are 5-0, looking at 6-0 going into their bye week. So 2nd and inches, the handoff to Pierce. They're really trying to kill time here, as you can tell. Damian has 28 handoffs for 164. So he's playing incredibly well. Really, he's being that central cog, as I was saying, Houston needs him to be. He's going to get a gain of 3. No, they give him 2. But it's going to allow Houston to run off another almost half a minute of time. And we're down to just about 3 minutes on the 4th quarter clock. And Dameon Pierce, he's behind his blocker, and he gets the first down there. So 30 rushes, 175 for Pierce. And and Houston's going to be able to take this down to the 2.5 minute mark before their next snap. So Tannehill and Derrick Henry, they're talking on the sidelines about how to get this done. But all they can do is watch. They got to hope that their defense keeps Houston to just a field goal. Hand off to Connor now, the backup running back. Gets 6 yards. The backup quarterback, Keegan Whitfield, this is actually the first time he hasn't checked in at all for a snap. At all this season. So even though Heath Matlock threw 2 interceptions, Lovie Smith is sticking with him, saying, you're our guy this game. Keegan Whitfield might get his chance next game, might get more playtime next game, but for this time around, it is Heath Matlock. He's the guy. So the snap, 2nd and 4. A handoff to Connor again, and Connor has 4 and a little bit more. First down, and Tennessee, they're burning timeouts. Not a good sign when you're already down 5 and your opponent's at your 11. So, 1st and 10 now. Pierce back in the backfield. He gets the handoff. He'll get a gain of 3. Tennessee has to burn their 2nd timeout. They just got nothing left in the tank, it seems. If Houston can get these last 8 yards, they've sealed this game. 2nd and 7. A handoff to Pierce. Pierce guts it up the middle, and he gets dragged down with the first down, shy of the end zone at the 1-yard line. So Tennessee has to use their last timeout. We could just kneel it out here, but it feels a little weird to kneel it out at your opponent's 1. We're going to try and get Dameon Pierce's 3rd touchdown of the day. And like I said, nothing easier than just running up the middle with your star running back, get him his 3rd touchdown. So that's basically going to seal this game. We're going to take the lead 28-16. Nothing Schubert could do there. Nothing anybody could do there. Just beautiful running all around from Dameon Pierce. So there we have it, everybody. That's the end of our game. Not too much to say about it. Again, Heath Matlock, probably his worst performance of the season. Only 133 passing yards on the day for us, but 228 rushing yards to their 124. So even though Matlock threw 2 interceptions and we didn't get any takeaways, we were able to get the points, and they just they couldn't come up with enough of their own. So they're going to walk off of their home field, shaking their heads, feeling like losers, etc., etc. So we'll take a look at some player stats. Tannehill, he threw 40 attempts on the day, and just 1 touchdown, even though he threw for 350. So a bit of a weird, wonky day for him. Matlock, 9 for 21. Not a great look. But Dameon Pierce, 186 yards and 3 touchdowns. James Conner had 43 yards as well. Our 3 main receivers each had 3 receptions, over 30 yards apiece. Aguilar had 69, very nice. Van Der Esch, 15 tackles. Pittry, 10 tackles, including a sack and a half. So you're getting the production out of him that you really want to get. So that's about it. It wasn't the most impressive defensive performance either. We just got the stops we needed. So we're just going to take a little look. Dameon Pierce actually gets an upgrade to superstar development after that performance, so we're very happy to see that. We've got a little bit of upgrading to do. Guys like Devin Brown, all the offensive linemen, I just really, really want to get them better pass protection abilities. Eddie Spence, the rookie right end, I want to give him power rushing. I just need him to be a bull. I need him to be able to just plow through offensive linemen and just nail quarterbacks or running backs or whatever. Keegan Whitfield finally gets his first upgrade of the year, after Kenyon Green, of course. But Keegan Whitfield, he hasn't been getting the most playing time, but I am still very happy overall with his play. I'm going to give him some scrambling. He gets a pretty good upgrade, I would say. Not the biggest one, but he gets awareness, throw accuracy mid, that sort of stuff. Kendrick Wilbon also gets an upgrade. I give him some playmaker, and he gets a good boost in his stats, including +2 to awareness and +3 to catching. Really like to see it. So that's about all we have in terms of upgrading. I do finally decide to take Brandon Cooks off of the trading block because he's been getting trade offers all season, and there's just nothing I'm particularly interested in. So we'll hold on to him since we're doing, since we're 6-0 to start the year. See what we can do with him, and if we have to trade him, we'll trade him in the offseason since he's still under contract and he's going to be turning 30. On this front, we haven't really re-signed a lot of people, but we do re-sign Malik Collins. I've been impressed with his play so far. So, yep. I skip ahead past the bye week. We did basically everything we had to do. Do the weekly training here. Not a whole lot interesting going on. This is a lot of stuff that I've cut out just because I don't think, we've got scouting and stuff like that, but I don't know. I mostly just want to get the gameplay stuff, and the further we get into the season, the more we'll be looking at re-signing players and scouting players and all that. Let's just take a quick look at player stats since we're at our bye week. Matlock, 1,400 yards, 58% completion. Dameon Pierce, 14 touchdowns on the season. He's averaging 100 yards a game. Connor's even averaging 57.5 a game, so he's having a really good season for a backup. Nelson Aguilar, 760 yards. Brandon Cooks, 384 with 6 scores. Nico Collins, almost 300 with 5 touchdowns. Very solid production from those top 3 receivers. Titus Howard and Laramie Tunsil, both of our tackles, have led in the most sacks. Laramie Tunsil's the most upsetting because he's 92 overall, and he's looking for about $70 billion in his contract since it's up this season, but what can he do? Leighton Vander Esch, he's got 20 more tackles than anybody else, but I guess that's just, middle linebacker thing. So, yep, I'm actually pretty happy with this defense, all things considered. I want to get LaMichael Smiley some more playing time, if at all possible, but Malik Collins, as our number 1 defensive tackle, he's got 4 sacks. He's got a bunch of tackles for loss. He's playing really well. Ogbonia Okoronkwo, he's got 2 sacks and 6 tackles for loss on the left end. Playing a Spence right more at the right end. I should be trying to do that over Trey Flowers, but Trey Flowers has 3 sacks and 2 tackles for a loss, so he's playing well also. So, it's hard to make those sorts of calls, but that was a very quick cutout. I lost a lot of time. Sorry, this is a black screen. Thanks for joining, everybody, and we'll play the Jets next week.